turn on the first time on the code.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our honored guests. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Members of the Alaska delegation, Senator Lisa Murkowski. Senator Dan Sullivan. Governor Mike Dunleavy. Representative Mary Statler Peltolta. Chief Randy Moore of the U.S. Forest Service. Architect of the Capitol, Thomas Austin, and youth tree lighter, Rose Burke, 4th grade student from Kenai, Alaska. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Thomas Austin, Architect of the Capitol.
Good evening. Welcome to the 60th Annual Christmas Tree Lighting Ceremony at the United States Capitol. I am Tom Austin, the Architect of the Capitol, And I am honored to be here this evening as Speaker Mike Johnson lights the 2024 Capitol Christmas tree with the help of our special guest, Rose Burke, this year's Youth Christmas Tree Lighter, who came all the way from Kenai, Alaska. It is a pleasure to welcome Speaker Johnson, the Alaska delegation, and all of our distinguished guests this evening, along with our Capitol Hill neighbors and those of you who are visiting Washington, D.C. A lot of work goes into finding the perfect Christmas tree for the United States Capitol, and I'm glad to say we have made a beautiful selection this year. It is an 80-foot Sitka spruce from the Tongass National Forest in Alaska. Lighting the Capitol Christmas tree has been a festive holiday tradition since 1964, and it is one we're proud to continue. It began when former Speaker John McCormick asked one of my predecessors, the 8th architect of the Capitol, J. George Stewart, to place a Christmas tree on the Capitol grounds to celebrate this special time of year. In 1970, the architect of the Capitol partnered with the U.S. Forest Service to find the perfect candidate for the People's Tree. We are grateful for the efforts they helped make to help make this annual festive tradition a success. This year's tree made quite an impressive journey, traveling more than 700 miles by sea and 4,000 miles by truck to get from the country's largest national forest in Alaska to here on the west front lawn of the U.S. Capitol. Thank you to everyone who helped this tree make the trip. We truly appreciate your support to help bring the holiday spirit to Washington, D.C. I also want to extend my heartfelt thanks to Jim Kaufman and the Capitol Grounds and Arboretum team here at the Architect of the Capitol, who have spent the days and many of the nights since the tree's arrival decorating it with thousands of lights and handcrafted ornaments from Alaskan communities. This is my first year as the architect, and in the time since my appointment, I have been continually impressed by the hard work and dedication of our employees that they put in behind the scenes to make events like this a success. We are all grateful for your efforts and can't wait to see the People's Tree lit up in all of its splendor. We are delighted to have a beautiful tree that Alaskans and all Americans can be proud of. Thank you for coming to celebrate this wonderful time of the year at the United States Capitol.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Randy Moore of the United States Forest Service.
Good evening, Mr. Speaker, Senator Mowski, Senator Sullivan, Representative Patola, and distinguished guests. My name is Randy Moore, and I am honored to serve as the 20th Chief of the U.S. Forest Service, where I have the responsibility of overseeing management and protection of 193 million acres of national forests and grasslands across this great nation. This is only the second time in the 54-year history of the Forest Service providing the People's Tree that it has come from the great land of Alaska. This year, we harvested a beautiful 80-foot Sitka spruce from the Tongass National Forest, which is the nation's largest national forest at nearly 17 million acres. The Tongass National Forest sustains Alaska's communities and continues to provide for traditional and cultural ways of life. As our nation's largest national forest and the largest intact temperate rainforest in the world, the Tongass National Forest is one of the most diverse and beautiful ecosystems in the world. The Tongass is within the homelands of the Tlingit, the Haida, and the Tsimshian peoples who have stewarded these lands and waters since time immemorial. The tree was harvested within their traditional territory by the Wrangell Cooperative Association and was blessed by the tribes before beginning its journey of nearly 4,000 miles on land. The effort of bringing the People's Tree to Washington, D.C. is one which spans the whole state of Alaska. Both the Tongass and the Chugach National Forest employees came together with the people of Alaska to create more than 14,000 handmade ornaments and dozens of tree skirts that will beautify trees across our nation's capital. This year's campaign theme focused on where nature, people, and tradition come together, which is a fitting tribute which captures the natural beauty of Alaska's forests and coastlines, the resilience and fortitude of its residents, and the richness of the traditions and cultural heritage passed down from generation to generation. I am honored to share this tree on behalf of all Alaskans and the entire nation. I want to acknowledge and thank the many organizations who partner with us and who keep returning to this campaign year after year. Their unwavering advocacy and support of the People's Tree delivery and highlighting this as a symbolic gift to the nation is essential. And I especially want to share my appreciation for the Society of American Foresters and our presenting sponsor, 84 Lumber, for making this year's effort possible. Thank you for allowing me to celebrate and recognize a piece of the great work the Forest Service is doing to serve the American people. Happy holidays, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Mike Dunleavy, Governor of Alaska.
Good evening. I thought I was coming to Washington to get warmed up. This is colder than Alaska tonight. But isn't this a beautiful tree? Everything is bigger in Alaska. That's what we like to say up there. Anyway, tonight we gather here in our nation's capital to light this magnificent Christmas tree, a beacon of hope and unity that reflects the spirit of the season. It's an honor to be here alongside so many esteemed guests. And I'd like to take a moment to recognize my wife, Alaska's First Lady, Rose Dunleavy. I'm not sure where Rose is sitting. There she is right there. This evening is especially meaningful because this tree comes from the Wrangell area of the Tongass National Forest in southeast Alaska, a region defined by its breathtaking beauty, thriving ecosystems, and cultural richness. The Tongass is the largest U.S. national forest at 16.7 million acres, and it's home to ancient trees, abundant wildlife, and resilient communities. It's fitting that this 80-foot Sitka spruce, a symbol of strength and endurance, was selected to represent not only Alaska, but the enduring hope of the holiday season. As we reflect on the year 2024, filled with both triumphs and challenges, we are reminded that light shines brightest in the darkness. Like the northern lights that dance across Alaska's winter skies, the spirit of Christmas is a reminder of the beauty and resilience found even in the coldest, darkest moments of life. Christmas is more than just a holiday. It's a universal message of hope, peace, and goodwill. It's about extending grace to our neighbors, seeking understanding, and finding joy in the simple act of giving. Across all faiths, traditions, and cultures, the season calls us to reflect upon what unites us and to share our light with others. This year, the world has seen its share of hardship, from natural disasters to conflicts and uncertainty. Yet through it all, we have witnessed the strength of the human spirit. Much like the Alaskan wilderness, where communities adapt and thrive amid challenging conditions, people around the world have stepped forward to care for one another. From rebuilding after storms to providing aid to those in need, these acts of kindness encourage and inspire us to do better and to be better. This tree, rooted in Alaska's majestic forests, stands as a symbol of hope and interconnectedness. Its roots remind us of its shared history. Its towering height encourages us to aim higher, and its lights represent the unyielding hope that guides us forward. The Sitka spruce, Alaska's state tree, has been used by cultures for centuries for what it can provide and what it represents. Tonight, it serves another purpose, to inspire and unite all of us. As we light this tree, let us commit to being lights in the lives of others, not just during the holidays, but every day. Let us bring warmth to a world that often feels cold and hope to those who need it the most. For my family to yours, for my beloved state of Alaska, to my fellow Americans and friends around the globe, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a peaceful, prosperous New Year. And may this magnificent tree inspire us to carry that light of the season into the year ahead. Thank you, and may the light of this tree shine brightly in all of our hearts. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Mary Sattler Peltola, United States Representative from Alaska.
Hello. In Yupik, we say Alusistok Jikichi, which means Merry Christmas to more than two people. It's wonderful to be here with you tonight. As I walked up, I saw the beautiful tribal regalia from Wrangell. It is so wonderful to have you here in Washington, D.C., representing Alaskans, representing the beautiful place where this tree came from. Thank you for sharing this beautiful gift with the nation. I'm very encouraged to meet Rose Burke this evening. She wrote the winning essay for the tree, and I was especially touched with these words that she wrote. When they see this majestic Christmas tree, they will be reminded of our farthest most state. Though far away, we are united in love for our country. I think this is beautiful, especially this time of year. And Alaska may be the largest and most remote state in our nation, but it feels very small and close-knit to those of us who are from there, and it's wonderful to see so many Alaskans here tonight enjoying this with us. And when we talk about the 4,000 miles that this tree came from, it reminds me of the long haul that our delegation makes, and it makes me really grateful to have been a member of this delegation. And as my time comes to a close, this is a really beautiful event, and I really appreciate being here with you all this evening. Again, Alusistok Jigichi.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Dan Sullivan, United States Senator from Alaska.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's great to be here. It's great to be here with my wife, Julie, and so many Alaskans who flew thousands of miles for this great event. It's great to be here with my colleagues from the Congress, Governor, Mr. Speaker, and Rose Burke. How about a round of applause for Rose Burke from Kenai? You know, as already mentioned, we do everything big in Alaska and tall in Alaska, biggest state, biggest mountain, biggest national forest with the Tongass, this big giant Christmas tree. We even grow very tall governors in Alaska, so it's great to have Mike Dunleavy here, who's doing a great job for our state as well. I want to just make sure that everybody here today, if you're not from Alaska, you get a sense of what winter looks like back home in our wonderful state. It's a winter wonderland now, snow-covered trees, cold, clear skies, the northern lights. Everybody here, if you haven't been, should have Alaska on your bucket list. We'd love to have you up to our great state. You certainly won't forget it. But even if you can't get up to Alaska during the winter, this great tree is a really good substitute to give you a sense of our majestic state. Imagine tens of thousands of trees just like this, blanketed in several feet of snow. It's a magical place. It's a magical time of year. And for us Alaskans, this is a slice of home right here in the capital. This tree, as already mentioned, has made it quite a journey to get here, nearly 5,000 miles. And I want to do a shout out to the great two Alaska Teamster truck drivers who drove this tree all the way from Alaska with combined experience in driving trucks of 120 years. How about a round of applause for Fred Austin and John Shank? They did such a great job. It was an honor a couple weeks ago to highlight them in the weekly speech I try to give on the Senate floor called the Alaskan of the Week. And I think at least one of them's here. John, I believe, is here at the tree lighting. And by the way, they drove this tree all across America. They stopped in 12 states, 17 towns on their 3-week journey, driving this tree safely, spreading good Alaskan Christmas cheer across the country. You know, you have two great Alaskans, like I said, who did this. Fred is literally from North Pole, Alaska. No kidding, to spread the Christmas cheer here, and they did a great job. So to Fred and John, everybody else from Alaska, everybody else in the capital, the speaker. Again, sir, thank you for hosting us. We really, really hope you enjoy this beautiful tree. Only the second tree in the 60-year history of the Capitol tree lighting from Alaska. I think when the architect of the Capitol and the forester of the United States see how beautiful this tree is, they're going to want an Alaska tree every year. So enjoy and Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Lisa Murkowski, United States Senator from Alaska.
Okay, we're getting close to the lighting time, and that's why we are all here on this beautiful, beautiful, crisp evening. Now, some of you may be a little chilly out there, but I have to tell you, this tree is loving the fact that it's a little bit cooler than normal. So it makes it feel like it is home. And as Alaskans, those that we can see in the lights here, there's about 100 Alaskans that are gathered here for this celebration, this recognition, this acknowledgement of what it means to bring the holidays and bringing the holidays through a special Christmas tree every year. And to have a tree from the Tongass National Forest, I will just share with you, is very personal to me. And this tree is pretty personal to me because this tree happened to come from Zarembo Island, which is the island just off the water from Wrangell, Alaska, where I spent growing up years, where my parents still live, and I can sit on their porch and look out at the same island that this majestic tree came from. So I really do feel like home with this extraordinary thing. You know, you think about the logistics. This is a huge, massive tree. It did not come in parts that are assembled. So it's on one huge, long, 80-foot plus flatbed that John and Fred, and I really appreciate Senator Sullivan that you gave them the highlight that they so deserve, but masterful, masterful driving. You can't get this thing around corners and do it easily. And the fact that it was a 4,000-mile-plus adventure for these men, plus 752 miles, I don't want to exaggerate at all, over the water, 8 days at sea, and then the days across the lower 48 coming this way. 80 feet tall, the root ball alone, the roots on this tree, over 3,000 pounds. So a massive tree, massive project, all those who really worked to bring this together. It has not been an easy task. And so thanks go out to the Forest Service, thanks go out to the Alaskans from the Tongass, from the Chugach, from Alaska's national forests, who worked so hard with so many of us over the months to get to where we are today. It's not just those that moved the tree here, but it's how this tree came to be in this place tonight in such extraordinary condition. This tree went through a little bit of a science experiment. This is a journey where this tree was harvested on October 19th. Think about what that means, October 19th. And we're sitting here on the 3rd of December. And you touch that tree, as I did just a little bit ago, and you can't touch it. I got special permission from the Capitol Police. I'm not supposed to tell anyone, Mr. Architect. But this tree feels as fresh as any tree that is still in the ground today. And it came about because of the innovation of an individual in Wrangell, Alaska, who figured out maybe I could use this misting system that uses a couple pumps that come out of 4 55-gallon barrels. It has filters and a nutrition delivery system. And he worked not with scientists, not with Forest Service people. He worked with kids from Wrangell High School, a group that they call T3, It's an after-school group of kids. And those kids and that individual and the community members figured out how to keep this extraordinary tree so healthy and so alive that when this tree arrived, it was still breathing through its roots and through its boughs. So thank you to Wrangell, Alaska, to the community with heart, to our tribal leaders, to our young people, to those in the schools, those of you who have made today's extraordinary tree so special here. And I also want to end with an acknowledgement of every one of those high school kids, those elementary school kids, those elders who made thousands and thousands, almost 15,000 handmade ornaments that will grace this tree and other companion trees during the holidays. And it came about with an excitement of the delivery of a promise, and a promise that we will hear reflected when Rose Burke reads her essay, to be selected from all of the fourth graders that participated to give her thoughts about what this tree means. And I would read the whole essay, but it's not fair to Rose, but Congresswoman Peltola took the exact words that I wanted to highlight. Her reminder that through this majestic tree that comes from far away, from the farthest north state, we're united in love for our country. It is beautiful to be able to celebrate the holidays, to wish Merry Christmas, and to be here in our nation's capital with a beautiful piece of Alaska in front of us. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Shtak In Kwan tribal citizens.
Good evening, everyone. We are so excited to be here this evening to share our tree with you. My English name is Esther Ashton Reese. My Tlingit name is Achsin. I will introduce myself in our language. Achsin Yuchattuasak, Chakna Chatsiti, Tagwidi Ayachat Ki Kwanda Chatsiti, Kachari Yatki Chatsiti, Dakdain Tan, Dashkhan Chatsiti, Chai Hit Dach Chatsiti. My Tlingit name is Achsin. I am Eagle. I am Killer Whale. We are a matrilineal society, so we honor our mothers and our grandmothers. And then my father was of the Salmon people. My grandfather was of the Sea Pigeon people. And I am honored to serve as the tribal administrator for the Wrangell Cooperative Association, which is the local tribal government in Wrangell. I am honored to introduce Lou Knapp on my right, on Shawas Nook. She is on the WCA Tribal Council and the mother of the Eagles in Wrangell. Sandy Churchill, or Tsutsan Kla, is on our tribal council. She's also the Grand Camp president of the Alaska Native Sisterhood, a significant organization that brought about our citizenship in Alaska. And then we have Frank Churchill in the crowd, want to acknowledge him on our tribal council. And we have Mike Hoyt, or Aktatsin. He is a clan leader of the Teton. He is a totem carver, and he is also one of the artists that created the Capitol Christmas tree logo. We are honored that the Capitol Christmas tree comes from the homelands of the Shtak In Kwan in Wrangell, Alaska. For the Tlingit people, the trees are our life givers. They're how we create our canoes, our homes, and our totems, which tell our stories. They're our connection to our ancestors, and they show our love for our children and those who come after us as we steward the lands. And I just want to echo what Senator Murkowski said about our teaching through technology students. I am so proud of them. I see a couple of them in the front row here. For creating the first ever misting system to bring this tree all across the country to be in the wonderful shape that it is in today. Our Tlingit culture is about balance, reciprocity, and respect. Gunachish for allowing us to share a part of ourselves, bringing this balance, love, and respect to the nation's capital by sharing our life giver with you. Kutsachan tin yagatutlak, we are going to succeed with love. And I will hand the mic over to Aktatsin, and he's going to explain our blessing.
Gunnels Chish on Yat Kusani, Gunnels Chish Audinechi, Hayikini, Gunnels Chish Katuhan, Gunnels Chish Hayi Ichi, Hatu Kunachyak Yagi. It's an honor for all of us to be here, and we're just so thankful that we get to be part of this process and to have seen this every step of the way. Something that I think is common throughout all of Alaska and the Alaska Native cultures, whether it's the Inupiaq up north or the Yupik in the southwest, the Athabascans in the interior, the Aluptik and Unangan out in the Aleutian Islands, and then of course the Tlinkit and Tsimshian in southeast, is just a respect and an honor for the world that takes care of us, and an acknowledgement that life can be fragile and it can be precious, and that when we take from the world around us, we have to be thankful and we show respect for what we're doing. And so part of that process involves, when we take down things like trees, is talking to the tree people, to Asquani, and to let them know, we're making sure that our tools are sharp, and so that the pain will be minimized, that we're going to lay out blankets and black bear skins for it to fall down onto, and that we're spreading eagle down to show our good intentions and our love and peace for the tree people, as well as to keep the people that are working with the tree safe, and to talk with the tree people and let them know why we're doing this and what we're doing it for. And so for this particular tree, I think it was an honor to know that this was going to be going across the country, and seeing the video last night of all the people across the country just having a great time. And I want to acknowledge all the people that have played a role in this process, whether it was the T3 students or everyone at the Forest Service, and everyone here in DC that has helped with that process of planning. It's just been an honor to see all of the happy faces. To me, that really embodies that Tlingit language, that phrase that we put on the bottom of the logo, of that peace, joy, and happiness. Ka yesh, sagu, ka tuwuk eh. We're going to sing two songs. The first one is going to be a paddle song, just to acknowledge the journey that this went through, that this tree went on. And then we'll sing a welcome song to welcome the tree here to DC, and of course to welcome all you folks. Gunnels Chish.
Chish, Sagu Kiswas.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Mike Johnson, Speaker of the United States House of Representatives.
Wow, thank you so much. I don't know how to follow that. That was amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much, Chief Moore and Mr. Austin, and our friends from the Shtakin Kwan tribe. I'm trying my best to pronounce that. All right, thank you. Thank you also to Governor Dunleavy, and I know it's not a short trip from Alaska, so we want to thank all of our friends who came this long way to be here. Thanks also to Alaska's extraordinary delegation here in Congress, your senators, your member of Congress. They make great sacrifices to serve an extraordinary state and one of our favorites. And what a great thing to share the culture of Alaska here tonight on Capitol Hill. I also want to reiterate our thanks to the drivers who made this tree possible to get it here, 4,000 miles we've heard so many times. It's pretty awesome. That's why we keep repeating it. But Fred Austin and John Shank, and I'm told, this hasn't been mentioned yet tonight, but I think John made this same trip the last time Alaska had a tree here. And I'm not sure how many people in the history of the United States have made that trek twice, but that's really something. And we're grateful for their hard work. Yes, indeed. Well, we love this event every year. It's a great celebration for all the reasons that have been stated. And as this tree is placed in front of the Capitol, we remember that this is the people's house. And that means that this tree is truly the people's tree. This holiday season, more than 100,000 tourists will tour the halls of this monument to our great republic. And as they leave, they'll stand on the National Mall and they'll see this tree. You'll be able to see it all the way down the mall. It'll be well decorated, of course, with colorful lights and ornaments. And the lights on this tree symbolize something. They symbolize the light that this season brings. As has been mentioned tonight, the light of hope and happiness and tradition. The light of joy that comes with having meals with family and friends. And, of course, the light of gratitude that comes with reflecting on the blessings of the year that is past. And as we dedicate this tree, we look up to see the star atop its branches, and it's a star not unlike the one that guided those three ancient wise men to Bethlehem 2,000 years ago. These wise men, looking to the star above in the east, were filled with faith and hope and love, and they looked beyond the kings of the earth to see the birth of the King of Kings, Jesus of Nazareth. It's Congress's duty as representatives of the people to follow the example of those wise men and look up for wisdom, to look to God, our Creator, who has so greatly blessed our nation. We look to him for guidance as we pursue the unity and the well-being of this great and beautiful nation. President Ronald Reagan once observed that, quote, "Of all the kings who ever reigned, and of all the parliaments that ever sat, none have done as much to advance the cause of peace on earth and goodwill to all men as the King of Kings." And because our country seeks peace and because we seek the good of this nation, we ought to reflect this Prince of Peace in the way we live our own lives and live as those who shine the light even in the darkest of places. For much of our nation's history, at Christmas time, families have gathered in their homes around the Christmas tree to open presents and in their churches to celebrate and to have prayer. They gathered in front of fireplaces and in pews where the hope is kindled and faith is inspired. And it's also where we feel most closely those who are not with us. The service members who are stationed overseas defending our freedom, the Americans who are held hostage by dark regimes. And in the face of that darkness, we invoke the power of prayer for those who find this season bittersweet. We ask that God would fill them with the warmth of love and the promise of peace on earth and goodwill towards all men. And we pray that when they look at the light of this Christmas tree or at the candles of the menorahs on their mantles, that they will be filled with renewed hope. Now, I would be wrong to light this tree alone, and I need the help of someone who knows that this tree, where it comes from, far better than I do. And you've heard a lot about Miss Rose Burke tonight, but I'm going to ask her to join me up here on the stage. Will you come up, Miss Rose? Come over here. Give her a round of applause. Now, you've heard Rose is the winner of the Capitol Christmas Tree Essay Contest, and she comes to us all the way from Kenai, Pennsylvania and Alaska. Did I say it right? Kenai? Okay, Kenai, right? She's corrected me already twice tonight. She's also one of 12 brothers and sisters. Everything's bigger in Alaska, as was said. And I'm sure she made gifts for all of them, right? You made gifts for all the siblings? That takes a whole month, I know. Everybody, we're going to ask Rose to share with us the essay that allowed her to win this contest. You've already heard it quoted twice, but let's hear it from the author herself. One more hand for Rose Burke, if you will.
This amazing Christmas tree is from my home state, Alaska. Just like Alaska, it is big and beautiful. It is from Tongass National Forest in southeast Alaska. This tree represents all of Alaska. The state of Alaska is known for its wild forest, gorgeous mountains, and beautiful glaciers. People from all over our country come to see our wildlife: ferocious bears, massive moose, migrating caribou, breaching whales, and soaring bald eagles. People from all over our country come to our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. When they see this majestic Christmas tree, they will be reminded of our farthest north state. Though far away, we are united in love for our country. A Christmas tree brings joy to our hearts. May this Christmas tree fill the hearts of those who see it with extreme joy and hope for the future of the United States of America.
Okay, so we're going to light this together. You going to help me with this? All right, let me make sure I don't mess up the instructions here. Okay. Rose, that was fantastic. You deserve this honor, and I would just say, when I was in 4th grade, I could not speak that well. You're really, really great at this. We're so grateful you made this journey all the way down here, so we don't want to wait any longer. Everybody's freezing. I know you can handle the cold, but I don't do it very well. All right. Would you all join me? We'll do a countdown. We'll say 5 all the way down to 1, and then Rose and I are going to, or she's going to flip the switch here. Ready? You want to count down from 5? Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. Hey! Good job.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Tom Austin, Architect of the Capitol.
All right. Been a good evening. Great remarks. Thank you for coming to tonight's ceremony and joining Speaker Johnson, the Alaska delegation, the Forest Service, the U.S. Air Force Band. Oh, yeah, round of applause for the band, too. And, of course, our youth Christmas tree lighter, Rose Burke, in lighting the U.S. Capitol Christmas tree. This tree will be lit from dusk until 11 p.m. each night from now until January 1st. We encourage you to come back and see it again in all of its splendor. Have a good night and a safe and joyful holiday season. Thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony. Thank you for attending the United States Capitol Christmas Tree Lighting Ceremony.
Wish you.